Welcome to 10 things that we hate about The Exorcist. We've done 10 things we love, and we always got to follow through with the other side of things. 10 things we hate about The Exorcist. I'm not going to lie, fucking difficult.
Very difficult.
Really difficult. Where it's like, because that's not saying it's infallible. That's not saying it's like the greatest horror movie ever. It's one of the greatest, but it's certainly not my favourite. It's not even in my top 3 or 5, I would think. Top 10, probably. But, yeah, it's like... No, actually, it isn't, because my top 10's on the bloody site, and it's not on my top 10. But yeah, it's just finding 10 things that's like, yeah, I don't really like that, or I don't like this. And we always say it's tongue-in-cheek, and it's nitpicky. That's the important thing as well, nitpicking, particularly with a list like this, because it's so hard, it's nitpicking. Yeah. But that's kind of the fun of it. Yeah. So I want to start this time as you start the last one. Mm-hmm. Right, I hate, one of the things I hate about The Exorcist is that they gloss over Reagan's use of the Ouija board, which is how she technically gets possessed by the demon, which kind of would confuse viewers of how she gets possessed. It's mentioned, and Captain Howdy's mentioned occasionally, but it's not, it's kind of glossed over, do you think, to a degree? And like, if you're kind of watching it, and you said to many people, how does Reagan actually get possessed? I reckon, unless you know the movie really well, a lot of people will go, doesn't the demon just come to her? Yeah. It's like, no, it's to the Ouija board, you know? Yeah. And I think that's kind of glossed over. And it would be nice to, maybe just a short shot of her playing with it, I don't know, just something maybe a little bit more. It ultimately doesn't need it. It's nitpicking, as I said at the start, but it's certainly glossed over. Yeah. That's my first one.
My first one is, look, how much was cut from the original?
Right, I have this to a degree as well, so I'll jump in here. We always do this if we've got the same one, we'll talk over it. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I've got the same one. There was a fair bit cut, and some of it quite. When
you read, you're like, oh, that would have helped that, and that would have helped that.
Yeah.
And
well, there's one iconic cut.
It was the
spider walk down the stairs, and like if you know the reason why it was cut, do you know the reason why it was cut?
Because of the wires. Yeah. Edit them out properly. So
the technology at the time couldn't let them out. Since then, we've had the ability to digitally erase those wires, so it's kind of okay. So on that front, I'm like, yeah, okay. You can't get rid of the wires. The wires are visible. Yeah. You don't want to take shit out. You've got to take it out. Yeah. But yeah, there's quite a bit cut from The Exorcist. I mean, like all movies, you have to, because
running time, you've been there for a
while. It's a long movie as it is. We don't need a Lord of the Rings extended edition 5-hour Exorcist. But yeah, you're right. It does suck that for many people would have been like. It sucks and it doesn't, because imagine there would have been a point, like almost you've seen it before when we watched a movie and so on and been like, oh, I don't remember that scene, or I don't remember that scene. It was only last week Scott Pilgrim had extra bits.
Oh yeah, and Step Brothers as well.
Yeah. And it was like, oh, that wasn't it. And it was kind of cool. It was like watching it with fresh eyes, and it must have been cool if you were seeing Exorcist so many times, and then watched an uncut version with all this included stuff. And
if it's slight, it can be quite creepy, because I find that quite creepy in horror films when things are slightly wrong, and then when they finally notice things, I find that like, oh, I don't like that.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a great one. It is a great one. Because it ultimately does suck, and it's something I hate, that there is versions of people may have seen, maybe they and missed out on certain iconic scenes because of it. Right, this was inevitable. I hate that it spawned certain sequels. I know that's technically cheating, it's not, but man, if you've seen The Exorcist 2. If you've seen it, holy hell. It's like you're watching a completely different movie. And it's even got Linda Blair in it. It's absurdly stupid. Utterly absurd. And the screeching music and the stuff in Africa. And this attempt to try and explain Father Merrin's background. It's awful. And the prequels, there's 2, Dominion and Exorcist the Beginning, that tell the same story, but you can read online as to why both exist in different periods of time, even though they actually star the same actor as well, which is Stellan Skarsgård, who is he's great in it, and I admire him as an actor. And they're not like total shit, but it's all about Father Merrin when he first faced off against Pazuzu. So there's a story to be told her, but it's not something we needed. However, as much as I hate the fact it spawned so many shitty sequels, it did spawn The Exorcist 3, and that movie rocks. In fact, that's got some of the scary... If you do a Google search for scariest Exorcist moments, 2 scares from The Exorcist 3 are in the top 5.
Oh, really?
Boom. That's how good...
I'll watch that one.
Yeah. But yeah, it's actually a hate. Exorcist 2, man. Whoa. Yeah.
My next one is the glut of possession films that try and recreate it. So we mentioned that before in the Love video.
Yep.
Everyone just tries so hard. There's so many the possession, and by putting a name, tries to like think, oh, we're gonna really care. But there's just nothing already really rushed down. There's been a couple that have kind of got some interesting points.
Some have tried interesting ideas.
Yeah.
The Last Exorcism is one that had an intriguing idea and gave it like try and do a new twist in it. I thought, but the problem is you start trying to think and go. And there's so many exorcism movies, all in the title that becomes really.
There was a spate, not recently, but a few years ago, when it was like everything was the possession of the exorcism of like
the possession of this, possession of Michael King, and absolutely.
And it was like they kind of had no characters. You're supposed to care about these people being possessed, and you really didn't, and it was always just over the top hacking. You're like, don't.
Even my favourite franchise, and I use that term very loosely. If you read the site regularly, even Amityville got Amityville Exorcism as a title of one of its movies.
Just try and tag it in.
People
think that's like.
You hear Exorcism, you think, oh, well, that cool. Obviously you can't link to The Exorcist, but you're hoping, I guess, when people hear Exorcism and go, oh, I like Exorcist, even though so many of them. You're right, absolutely horrifying. The amount of glut we've had to try and capture that. Yeah. Okay, so this was in your love one, and it's actually one I hate. I actually do not like at all the Pazuzu face flashing up. For me, that's a cheap tactic. It only occurs like twice in the movie and in quick succession, and that's the only time it pops up. And I don't find it particularly scary because it's just makeup, and not particularly great makeup. But to me, that's cheap. None of that movie has cheapness with regards to its scares. There are few jump scares. Yeah, that's an attempt to go. Don't.
I think, but personally, I've got a thing with faces in films, like in The Ring, when they actually cut to, I think it's the very first one, the person in the cupboard. They say, you didn't see the person's face. They cut to the actual face.
Oh yeah.
Like. I didn't watch that actual. When it cut to the face, I knew something was going to happen, so I didn't watch that face for a long time. Because things like faces really creep me out, and like the whole flash of things, I don't. Yeah.
No, I don't. That's one of my.
That's my scares.
That's one of my major negatives of the movies. I don't buy into that Pazuzu face. Yeah.
I think about it now when you say it like that. I don't like it.
Yeah. Go on.
The fact that Linda Blair received death threats after the film, she had to have bodyguards for 6 months.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
I find that really, really quite. Well, she was a young girl actress. Just making a film, and people as religious groups as well, which strikes me as a
religious zealots. I have this one as well. I have this one as well. Why go after the girl?
Yeah, the film producers, the people that funded
it. Wrote it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Why weren't you going after Peter William Blay?
Yeah, he created this story. She was just it's her job.
Yeah, the fact that she needed bodyguards and her family needed bodyguards because religious zealots were sending her death threats, disrespectful to the Christ and all that. And it's like, I don't know, man, look in the fucking mirror, you're taking quite liberties with your whole Christian faith. But that's what zealots in it, people, that's why we call them as such, idiots. Trying
to taint.
Just turned out fine. Just turned out fine.
Yeah.
Right. My one's back to the movie. Now, this is a controversial one. I don't necessarily think everyone might agree with me. I believe the cross-stabbing scene, the cross-masturbation scene, however you want to describe it, is unnecessary. I don't think the movie would have been harmed by having that level there removed. Having part of it maybe, but I don't think it would have been harmed by having it removed.
Yeah.
It's fine that it's there, we know it and so on, so it's easy to go, well, it's there, and it makes... But there's enough that happens around that perhaps might have been you wanted to shock people with this one. That's what you were going for, shock. And
they did tone it down from the book though, because in the book it's obviously a lot more more hardcore than the film, obviously for obvious reasons.
Obviously.
So you've obviously just taken something, kind of toned it down, but again, you think it shouldn't be.
I just don't know if it's necessary. I don't know if it ultimately really... I think it's what people remember quite often, mostly about the film.
Yeah.
Because it shocks. And I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing.
Yeah.
Like you say to people, if say someone's seen The Exorcist once or twice, what do you remember about a movie? they're probably going to say that. And I'm not sure if that's what I would want as a creator.
It's like, that film with that bit and that
bit. Oh, the bit where she fucks herself with the cross. And it's like, that, like, if you're a mega fan of the movie, a bit like, oh man, there's more to it than that. Come on.
Yeah, the bit where she puts her mum's face, grabs her
that's
face
what I mean. No, I'm talking about the entire scene.
Yeah.
I'm not just talking about the part where she's jabbing the cross into herself.
Yeah.
I'm talking about everything. See what I mean? Like, that's a step above, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's designed to shock, and I'm not too sure if it was necessary. I could have done without it if I don't think it would have harmed the tone of the movie overall.
Yeah.
You know? But of course, you know, that's subjective. Yeah.
My next one. The controversy over Regan's voice. Obviously, there's no credit given to the actual original.
Did you copy me?
No, I did not.
Oh, well, so I have this one as well, and I also agree. There's a lot of things we talked about this briefly in the Love one. You know, you can explain actually. I talk too much anyway, so explain. Yeah.
So the original actress that did the voice for Regan didn't get credit for it.
Mercedes McCambridge.
Yes. So I see.
Now I reckon there's a chance you're even hearing this and going, "Wait, that wasn't Linda Blair's voice."
And she worked really hard for it as well. From what I like. So she really doing this hate has made you read into the film.
Yeah.
As well, and you kind of it's really interesting stories. So she Linda Blair was nominated for a Best Supporting Actress.
Yep.
For the Exorcist. Then it turned out that she didn't do the voice, but by that point you can't withdraw it once you've been nominated. And people said that's affected her chances of winning because obviously people go, oh, well, it wasn't your voice.
Yep.
The lady actually did sue the original Mercedes. Was it Mercedes?
Mercedes McCambridge.
Mercedes McCambridge actually sued and got the money back and credit for it.
Yeah, the fact the director didn't want her to have a screen credit because he wanted people to believe it was Linda Blair's voice is head scratching as fuck.
Yeah, because it's.
Here's our credit roll. We all know it's a movie. You're crediting every other actor. Like Father Merrin, that is Max von Sydow. It's not goddamn. You know what I mean? It's like Reagan is Linda Blair. Like, why are you being stupid?
Especially because she did quite a physical job of.
Well, it tied into the whole. If you read up about William Friedkin and what certain things he did, it kind of makes you go, bit of an arse, aren't you, mate?
Yeah.
Like, you're a bit of an arse, you know? Credible director and stuff like that, but like, no, you might be a bit of an arse, I think. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, when you put that much effort in and then to not even get a screen credit.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Yeah. You know? And unfortunately, it's one of those things that still I don't believe is well known. So, you know, hopefully more people pay attention to that. Right. Well, I talked about in the Love one about how it'll never get a remake, unlikely never get a remake, and why. However, one of the other things that I think have guaranteed it won't get a remake, but in the harmful department, is parodies. The Exorcist has had a lot of fucking parodies.
Oh, yeah.
Enough so that certain scenes are almost jokey now. How many times have you seen a movie parody the green vomit scene?
Yeah.
The head turning scene.
Scary movies straight off.
Scary movies. Even I think it's Scary Movie 2 or 3 that opens with the priest doing an exorcism and he's actually on the toilet.
Yeah.
We had a whole movie about it called Repossessed with Leslie Nielsen and all that.
Wow, yeah.
And Linda Blair even popped up in that and so on. And you still get modern movies poking fun at it and stuff like that. And it's like, it's all good humour and stuff like that, but it does dent its impact and it kind of makes those scenes a bit more of a joke. Yeah. You know?
Just what they were before,
Yeah, everyone has had a go at parodying The Exorcist in some way or another. Yeah.
So again with the hate one, so it's like the release date of the film.
Yeah.
So released over Christmas. It's obviously religious Boxing Day 1973. So it's a religious time of year. So you're already causing a film that's going to cause trouble in those sense.
It's funny, yeah.
It's obviously as director you'll be like, right, if we're doing this anyway,
you're gonna piss people off.
Go all in.
Just put all your cards down.
On sort of small point, you're thinking, well, yeah.
Did you have to do it that day?
Yeah,
Did it really need to be done that day?
Yeah. So say like, if you're trying to not poke at like the Christian faith and stuff like that, but it didn't have to really release it at Christmas time.
There's bravery in it, and there's marketing as much as anything else. You know, we don't want to sort of give these people a pat on the back for what is ultimately marketing. You know, and things like that. It's an interesting sort of like, here's our stick. We're poking as hard as we can already, but let's now poke a little bit harder. Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Christmas time.
Yeah, it's a bit.
Even Easter, really. Could have done Easter as well.
Yeah, imagine that. Release it on Resurrection Sunday.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, all right. Well, I'm already down to my second last one. It wrecked Linda Blair's career. Linda Blair, I mean, she's a good actress. She's done other movies, but let's be honest. Name me another Linda Blair movie that isn't The Exorcist. She has done other stuff.
Yeah, no, definitely.
You know, and I'm always surprised when I see Linda Blair come up in it. I'm always like, oh, cool, Linda Blair's in it. You know, like I'm at, you know, when I watch sort of 80s horror or something. But yeah, Linda Blair, man, like there was no getting work after this. You know what I mean? There was. That's the truth of it. And she, you know, and then of course you've seen The Exorcist 2. Well, after Exorcist 2, I'd never have given her a job.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, like, yeah, it wrecked her career. And I think that's kind of a sad thing because she's a talented actress. And I suspect as well, things like the voice issues and all that probably didn't help in the eyes of like screenwriters and things like that, you know. But she was just a girl. She just, you know, you take a role. But like many people who take an iconic role, they're never able to really ever recover from it. You know, you look at your Mark Hamills. Lord
of the Rings, Harry Potter. They do.
To a degree, some ones. Yeah, I suppose Rupert Everett. Is it Rupert Everett? No, Rupert Grint. Who plays Ron. Like, he's struggled to get away from it. Yeah, you know, we'll go on a tangent this, but yeah, sometimes you kind of get lumbered with it, and I think Linda Blair definitely got lumbered with it. And I don't think she's a bad actress from what other movies I've seen of her. So, yeah. Yeah. There's one... Someone remind me. There's a movie where she basically dresses up in leather and plays a kick-ass, like, her sister, I believe her sister is Linnea Quigley, who's might be deaf, mute, or have a mental illness, is raped and attacked by a group of guys in a shower. And Linda Blair's her sister and goes on like a killing spree, rampage to get revenge. Okay. I can't remember what that movie's called. Street something or something like that. Remind me, I know I've seen it because I can remember a lot of it, but yeah, she's in that. And Hell Night, I believe it's Hell Night. Front cover is like her holding onto like a gate, screaming. Yeah, there's that. See, it's all there. Yeah. But like, what it is, it's like, say, name me a Linda Blair horror movie. Yeah. Name me a Linda Blair movie. You got 99% of people are just going to go The Exorcist. Yeah. The 1% like me will go The Exorcist 2, you know. But yeah, that's about it. Yeah, wrecked her career. And your last one or more?
I've got more.
Okay.
I've got more. I've never seen the infamous The Spider Walk Downstairs.
You've never seen it?
No.
Wow. Why?
My dad, when we first watched The Exorcist, my dad said, "Oh yeah, obviously that we're watching the one that's been edited, with it edited out," and explained to me what that scene was and why it was that it was taken out.
Yeah.
And just even the thought of it, it really just gave me nightmares because I pictured it because I watched the film and I pictured that as well, and it.
But you hate that you've not seen it, or you hate that it exists.
I hate that it didn't really scare me so much.
Okay, fair enough. Because you can see it, you could see it now easily.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm tempted to Google it, but then
I think it looks pretty fake now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's that impactful. Like, no. I in comparison to other things, you know, we talked. We talked at the beginning of this video about it. You know, I don't think it's got like quite as much impact. No.
But a young brain's quite.
Yeah, but then I would say no child should be watching The Exorcist. You know, I don't really think it's that's not just because of the content. Use your brain, people. Your parents. If your parents use your brain, well, what's acceptable for your children and so on. I actually think because they're not going to get it.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I can't.
They're going to be a child is going to be left with the visual imageries stuff that's going to scare them, freak them out, make them not feel very good. They're not going to see the overarching story. No. They're not going to get a redemption angle that comes in regards to certain characters. They're not going to get that. No. And there's no happy ending as well. No. To me, a kid shouldn't be watching it. No. You know, I have a son and, you know, we watch horror together. And I'm not purposely going, I'm watching The Exorcist with him, but it's never come into my mind because at a certain age, it's like, what, you know, I want you to enjoy a horror, but I want you to understand the horror as well. I want you to follow it along and understand why this happens and why that happens, not just be like, that's horrible. You know, so like, it's all good proper, like, saying, you know, I don't want to watch this, but you shouldn't have been watching The Exorcist full stop.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
It's simple because you're too young and stupid to fully grasp it, you know? And, you know, maybe you're a parent and then you go, my child does grasp, but cool. That's amazing if it is the case. I'm not tarring every child with the same brush here, but to me, the majority of children wouldn't understand it. But also there is some really shocking imagery. And we have ratings for a reason, I think. And, you know, there are some, as a parent, you should judge yourself. Is that's got an 18, what's the content like? Can that be understood and can it be seen in context? A lot of the time is more than anything else, you know, and that's the way to do it. And so when you say, The Exorcist gore and nasty bits are in context, but are they going to understand that? Yeah. Or is it just going to be something visually horrible for them to stick in her mind.
Yeah.
You know,
like another one was Creepshow.
Yeah, and
similar vein. Like I was too young, watching it too young, and then nightmares about certain phrases and imagery that I shouldn't have really watched, but.
Yeah,
lesson learned.
Yeah,
you're watching it now, you're like, really? But yeah, back then.
Same with my favourite horror movie ever, Return of the Living Dead. As cheesy as that is, if I think back to what disturbed me as a childhood, it was zombies fucking running out of woods and top speed and tackling people.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus, that's what I remembered. Not that now I'm older, I can sit down and we are totally doing 10 things I love, because that's 50 things Carl loves about it, and one thing I don't like. No, there's stuff I don't like about it. I could do it.
It's like the font on the credits.
Yeah, no, there are stuff, that's for another video. Right, my last one. And we kind of touched upon this you touched upon this a little bit earlier on, but I've worded it differently. It's basically made possession movies impossible to better. It's made every possession movie pale in comparison. There have been good possession movies, there have been many bad ones, there have been many lazy ones, but there have been good ones that try new stuff, try a new idea, new take in it. But ultimately, you always come back to that thing where it's just like, even if it's doing something, trying to do something different, there's only so much different you can do with possession.
Yeah.
And it's like, think about these moments. How many times you watch a possession movie and like, it uses a CGI face or a CGI mouth or something like that, and you're like, they didn't do that in 1973 with The Exorcist,
There's makeup, latex, and all kinds of...
and stuff, we apply that to a lot of movies as well, where it's like they choose CGI over practical effect and stuff like that. And that's the problem, is that Exorcist is so untouchable that everything is paled in comparison to it. No one's been able to capture, better it, or come up with something that you're like, it's not The Exorcist, but hey, that was a damn good attempt. That's never going to change, I think. That will forever be a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my last one, I've got, again, reading through stories to find top things you hate, and obviously you think were great coming from this film. There's a court case won by a man who fainted in a cinema.
Oh, I saw this.
Fell and broke his jaw on the seat.
Well, technically he didn't win. He settled out of court.
Yeah, he still made money out of the fact that it was a film where you went to go see a horror film.
He said it was subliminal messages in it that caused him to faint.
Yeah.
Fucking brilliant.
So, probably peanuts for the people for the money
he probably
ran out, but...
Yeah, I've got to say, what they probably settled, because of the whole stupid idiot, it was probably a very small amount. This is 10 grand, go away. That's it, you know what I mean? Yeah, peanuts.
But that whole no responsibility thing is just like, I fainted and broke my jaw because of your film. It's just like...
Well, here's the interesting thing. You kind of wish they'd gone through with the court case. Because if his argument was subliminal messages, we would have had that. That would have again put The Exorcist back in the public eye. Maybe not in the way you want it to be, but if he's suggesting there's subliminal messages, you can prove that instantly. They basically just couldn't be bothered. Yeah. And like I said, so he may not even got 10 grand, because 10 grand back then would have been a lot of money. Yeah. It may have been something absolutely nothing. Look, here's 500. Yeah. Go away. And he's like, sweet, I got some money out of this. Because he would have known that there's no subliminal messages, that didn't happen, and as soon as it goes to court and it gets taught, and they show, well, clearly there wasn't, because here's the prints and here's the this and whatever, and he loses. Yeah. Would it even get us to the point where there's a sitting in front of a judge? Do you know what I mean? Like,
because they say you bought a ticket for a film.
That you knew the rating and stuff like that, but so it is. It's like they settled out of court with a small paltry amount to shut this dude up, just because they couldn't be bothered. No one wanted to go. No one wanted to have their day ruined by having to go in court and go for a film thing. Probably as well, it might have been partly fearful of potential. You get if it does go further and you get the wrong judge, I guess, and the wrong people involved who already have a dislike of your movie,
might have religious slant on things.
Might have an ulterior motive.
Yeah.
Might have an ulterior motive to start kind of going, well, this, that, whatever. Yeah, you maybe don't want that. Yeah. But yes, it's one of those many stupid stories you read about The Exorcist. There's been a fair few of them. But as you can see, it's 10 things. Like, we've both just done 10 things each, with some crossover. And it was a struggle. You kind of nitpicking, as we said, and some of it is more tied into things that came from The Exorcist or what resulted from it. Because ultimately,
difficult one to start with, didn't I?
It did really come down to it, because it would have been easy just to pick something like Nightmare on Elm Street. Because it's very easy to pull 10 things out of there and so on. So, but yeah, it's such an iconic movie. You kind of have to start with the icons, Maybe years down the line, when we're hundreds of episodes into these series, we'll be going, okay, well, now we've got to do Hell Night by Linda Blair, and you'll have to sit there and watch it. Or whatever that street movie is. I'm gonna bug. I've got to edit this video tomorrow, so I might find out what it is and then add a picture of it on. Well, I will. I'll add a picture up either in the middle or to my right of what the movie I'm talking about is. Street something. But it's not even street anything. Someone commenting right now going, it's fucking this. Right, so that's our 10 things we hate. Make sure you check out the 10 things we love about The Exorcist. And if you've got any suggestions, let us know for what to cover in the horror movie department. Don't forget as well, we've got another series of these running with music, rock and metal, and another series running with the video game style of stuff as well. So yeah, cheers for checking it out.